teacher, you do a couple examples first, and then you let the person you're teaching help you, and then you help the person you're teaching, and then finally you ask the person you're teaching to do it all by yourself. So that's what we're going to do today as well. Okay, so we'll start. Let's just start with an easy 10. You are writing this down, so you have this as your guide. So you can use your pencils to write this down. Let's just start with 10. 10 in standard form?
10.
10. So go ahead and write that down. Make sure you leave plenty of space. 10 in expanded form? Can we do it? What is it? 10. So 10 in expanded and standard form is the same, isn't it? What about word form? Spell it.
T-E-N.
You got it. Easy peasy. What did we draw for a picture for 10? About half of our class is participating. Oh, almost everyone, 75%. Cheyenne? Now, am I going to draw 10 base 10 blocks?
No, just one little link.
Let's see why we do that. So we're going to draw a straight line to represent that picture, but that's because we're not going to draw out this every time and put the 10 marks in. So when our brain sees that, we know that's representing 10. Okay? Oh, wait a minute.
I was going to say
What?
that area models is like the base 10 blocks.
The area model is the base 10 block?
Well, no, really. It's a model.
It's a model. This is a three-dimensional model, right? If I do an area model, I can draw it one dimension, right? So if I were to do that on here for 10s, I would draw it like this. You do it too. How wide is this base 10 model? How wide is it? It's 10 long, and this width is 1. So our area model for 10 is 1, and then this is 10. Now I could go in and draw all those, but that's going to take too long. Okay? So if that's the area model for 10, could there also be one that looks like this?
Yes.
So I could have 1 here and 10 here, and that's the same? Okay. What do we think about equation? Is there a way we can show a relationship between 10s and 1s using the 10? Turn and talk to your partner. Turn and talk to your partner. How do you feel?
Like 9 plus 1 and 10 plus 2, like, since that's an equation. Yeah, probably like 5 plus 5, 6 plus 4.
Okay, let's hear it. Now, if we have an equation that shows the relationship between 10s and 1s, the relationship between 10s and 1s. Maddox, I see you can repeat.
I was going to repeat what Alex said. So, Alex said we could, like, do, like, 5 plus 5, maybe?
Okay, so 5 plus 5 is going to show the relationship between 2 groups of 5 to equal 110, right? Okay, are there other equations that you could write? Maddie?
You could say 6 plus 4.
Okay, so that would be another equation. What if I did this? What is the same as 110? Remember, the equal sign means same as. So what is the same as 110? Anthony? What's the same as 110? Did I say it this way? Are there smaller parts to this 10? Yeah. What are the smaller parts? Each one. How many ones are the same as 110? That's it. Yeah. So 10 ones is the same as 110. We have that?
Yeah.
Okay, put your head down. Oh, once you got that, or you don't have to put your head down, that's okay. Show me 2, 3, or 4 on how you feel that learning is for you. 2, 3, or 4. Okay. Some of us are choosing not to go. That's okay. All right, so let's move on. I'm seeing a lot of 3s and 4s, so let's move on. Is that our learning target? I can show 10 in many ways. Is that our learning target? No, it's not our learning target. We've got to get all the way to 1,000, don't we? Okay, so let's try 1,000. Just kidding, 100. get to do 1,000. Okay, how are we going to show 100 standard form? Say it. 100. Now, be careful. When you write it, I want you to write it this way. Keep those zeros lined up in their places, okay? I'll show it over here. Try to write them like that, because we're going to be looking for patterns. So make sure your 1s are lined up, your 10s are lined up, and your 100s are lined up. So it's expanded, Gavin, is that going to change? No. One of our sight words is 100. Let's spell it. Go.
H-U-N-D-R-E-D.
Good. You have a picture for 100?
We could draw 100 blocks.
We could draw 100 blocks. Okay.
Just a square.
Just a square. So our model that looks like this, right? Are we going to draw each of those in? No. We're just going to draw this one. Do we shade it in though?
No.
No, we don't shade that one in. We save that one for 1,000. Okay, so here's my picture for 100. Try to get it as close to a square as I can. Now we've got an area model. So we're going to take our three-dimensional figure and draw it as a picture. What's the area model going to look like? What's the width and the length? Wyatt?
Wait, how we draw it?
Uh-huh.
A square?
Yeah, but we're on the area model next, kiddo.
Wait, is 10 and 10?
10 by 10. 10 by 10 or 10 times 10. We use multiplication so we don't have to count each and every one. So I'm going to put a 10 here and a 10 here to show that that is 100. Is there any other way to write that area model? No, if we rotate it, it's going to be the same, isn't it? Okay, so now looking at your example for 10, we might be able to write more than one equation. You think? We can write more than one equation for 100?
Yeah.
Okay, well let's start with this. What is the same as 100? What is the same as 100? Alex?
100 ones.
100 ones. So I could count each of these and there would be 100 ones, right?
Yep.
Okay. So 100 ones is the same as 100. Are there any other ways we can express that, Kaylee?
10 tens.
10 tens. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10 tens in here. So another equation I could write is 10 tens is the same as 100. Okay. Taylor?
52s.
52s. If we were in a base 2 system, that would work. In our country, we use base 10. So that won't work for what we're learning in base 10. Okay, our standard says base 10 numerals. If you look right here on your rubric, it says base 10. So that would work only for base 10. Okay? Thanks for thinking of that. That would be very helpful if we had 2 of them. Okay. Now, are you ready to help me now?
Yes.
Should we try 1,000?
Yeah.
Okay, how are some of you feeling? Would you like to try it with me, or do you want some practice time with a group? Practice with the group. So you're feeling like you're confident enough you can do practice with the group. I want you to try the next one. Oh, I noticed this got a little bit, I should have probably drawn a line, don't you think? Because I'm kind of mixed up. I'm going to draw a line to keep myself a little bit better organized here. You can do the same thing for those of you who like to keep yourself organized. I'm going to draw another line under here because I noticed that there was 1 equation for tens, 2 equations for hundreds. I wonder how many there will be for thousands. How many equations do you think there will be? We're looking for a pattern. 3 probably, right? Okay, so you can go ahead and work in your small group, like our science groups, the ones you work in for science, and try 1,000 with your group. You'll be right here in this group.
Yeah. Okay.
How much time do you think you need? We're going to share our answers in 5 minutes. We're going to share our answers in 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes.
4. 10
You're writing them down right here, just like we did. All of these, yes. 1,000. You're gonna write it in each place, just like we did.
Okay, so write 1,000 in standard. Taylor had a dragon shirt. Write 1,000 in I know how to spell this. I was gonna write the word. And word. Oh, I know how to spell that. So now we have. It's in my picture and one. In the picture, add your model. So you just there.
Oh, I see you using your resources and looking back in your math notebook to find your code.
And scribble it.
Remember, it's in your math notebook.
Yeah. Isn't Valvin scribbled in?
It's in your math notebook. What did we show in our math notebook?